All right, welcome back. Welcome to episode 152 of Those Millennials podcast. Today, I am your humble, grateful, extremely thankful host, K the Classic. I'm here with my nearest and dearest, my boys and friends in real life. Rell's here. Rell, how you doing? How you feeling? How's your pockets? How's your mental health?
What's Gucci, man?
You said that pretty fast. Yeah, so I forgot to mention in our last pod that Rell and I, and maybe we might have some guests on here, are from now until a champion is crowned. We'll be doing 2 pods a week, most likely. Sometimes 3 week. We don't know. We'll see, but most likely you will see us 2 a week. So,
Do I get paid for this?
yes.
Not enough.
So you'll be seeing us twice a week now. So shout out again, as always. Don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe if you like the content, enjoying the content. Follow us on Instagram, and please, if you're on YouTube, leave a comment. That helps the pod go a long way. Real, the NBA season's finally done, man. It long NBA season's done, man. No, between Kyrie's drama and Ja Morant's drama and Kevin Durant getting traded, we had
a gun, a pull gun in the club, Hebrews to Negroes.
We Kevin Durant getting traded in the middle of the night to the Phoenix Suns. We had another crazy NBA season. It's finally over. And the play-in and playoffs are here. So Saturday, obviously, the playoffs will start, but we have playing games, and we're going to get to those. But first, before we get into those, I want to do a little quick list. It's not quite the not list as you guys are normally familiar with. This is a quicker pod. We're going to try to do this and hammer this down in 25 minutes. But so this is a quicker little list that I just came up with right now. So I'm going to start. Ray, are you ready? So DeMarcus Cousins came out today, which he's been doing a lot of content lately. He's been doing with Showtime's basketball with Rachel and Matt Barnes over there. Shout out to them. Matt Barnes came out today and said, as of right now, he's the third best center in the NBA. Do you agree with that?
No. Next question.
Shout out to Boogie. He deserved to be on the team though. Number 2. This one's actually a pretty cool stat. So the NBA season's over, right? The Milwaukee Bucks got to 58 wins. So I had to look this up on my own. This year was the first year since the 82 season started that there's no 60 win team.
Game winners, yep.
There's no 60 win team this entire season. So everybody's talking how the West, and then Denver got to 53. So, I know people want to just kind of talk about how, I guess, bad the West is. I think it kind of shows that this league has a lot of parity now. There's a lot of great players. There's not a lot of bad teams.
It's balanced. It's
really balanced. Better players are coming on the way. Like Victor Wembanyama is going to make one of those teams at the bottom better. So I don't necessarily agree with a lot of people saying that this season sucks, but it is kind of strange that in like 20 years have gone by and we haven't had. This is the first year we haven't had a 60 win team.
Parity is becoming NFL like, and this is what I'm trying to explain to people. Like, usually for most of my basketball life, you can kind of see the champion or the final from afar away. Usually you can kind of predict, if not one, maybe two, you can see, okay, this team is dominant and this team is going to, but to be one of the, since the KD Warriors went down, every year has been, I don't know who's going to win the championship, and I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you said, since the KD Warriors have gone down, I feel like it's going to be a lot like this. Like I said, like there's not a lot of scrubs at the bottom besides like the Spurs. Detroit, I wouldn't even consider a scrub because they had their superstar young player didn't even play most of the year. Weird. Rockets are a mess, but they can still score. There's not awful teams like it was back in the days. Like there's no teams that are like the Rockets are going to be better. Like I think the Rockets are the one team I was like, I'm cool, I'm not watching. Even like Charlotte, like, they started showing signs again that they're actually fun. LaMelo,
that's what I want LaMelo and Vic.
I do not want him over there. All right, so this is the last one. This is actually crazy because I'm not a big cape for this player, but I have to give him his flowers because this is pretty incredible and pretty impressive. So James Harden is the first player in NBA history to have 3 scoring titles and 2 assist titles, and it's says a lot. That's Linux in the background. Uh, that's it says a lot about his skill set, and we never talk about we do a great job of talking about James's flaws, but at this point, we should talk about some of the stuff that he's like. He's gonna go down in the Hall of Fame. He's already one of the 75 greatest players of all time. But that's an incredible stat, like, and I can't even hate on him. Leading the league 3 times in scoring and 2-time assist champion. That's actually pretty fire.
He's an all-time great. It just, I don't know. There's always been like, I don't know. There's always been this missing piece with James Harden, and I can never put my finger on what it was because he was a regular season monster. He
Yeah.
played all the damn time, and like I don't know. People find a reason to nitpick, but I can say I don't know. Maybe it was the defense because there was the YouTube montage. He was possibly like the biggest. I don't know. There's always something with him. But overall, if you ask me, like what he's done in Philadelphia and his commitment to this point guard role has let me know everything. Because like he's scoring 22 points a game, and that easily could be 30, just with a
Right.
little bit more aggression.
Yeah, like he doesn't have the same explosiveness. I watched a lot of Sixers games. Yeah, he doesn't have the same explosiveness. But he definitely, and he doesn't do the drawing foul thing that he just was made me hard to watch. In the Census Rockets days. Oh, I got one more off the top of my head, and this was from Colin Cowherd. This is the last one that we can move, and then we can start getting to these play-ins matchups. Did you see what who Colin Cowherd compared Luka Doncic to today?
No, who do you compare it to?
He said, "Hey, he's reminding me of Carmelo Anthony."
I can see it. I understand. Yep, I can see that.
Yep. Said he comes in out of shape. Um, he seems like he's difficult to play with.
Mm-hmm. Coach killer.
Why you coach killer?
He's a coach killer, and Carmelo was too.
Was he a coach killer though?
Yeah, I mean, the whole Mike Woodson for D'Antoni thing.
That's true. Okay. I love Cowherd. We're still early in the game, but
I would say this: I don't understand how somebody who plays as much basketball as Luka Doncic ever comes out of shape. He literally never stopped playing.
That part, he just not stopped playing.
Every time I'm like, damn, what the fuck what weird Euro basketball league is this, and why is Luka serving? And he comes in out of shape. I don't know what he does.
I think he just goes so hard. I think this is going to be the first year he actually has a break.
I'm turned off by Luka.
Yeah,
I'm out on him as a player. I'm out on him as
You're out of him as a player.
I'm out of him as a player.
He's
crazy. So good offensively, but he's a goddamn shell defense. You can't just stand out there. You can't be Bulls on defense. And it's Carlos Boozer. He's Boozer.
I listened to a lot of past basketball pods today, man, and a lot of them went over their ballots and stuff. And it's amazing to me how many people took Luka off their not only their MVP list, but don't even have him like first team All NBA anymore. After he's he's behind Joel Embiid Joel Embiid won the scoring title, but Luka Doncic was number 2. Like he had an awesome offensive season, but he has to take responsibility for the Mavs collapsing, even though some towards the end obviously wasn't him. The Mavs decided to tank. We're not here to talk about the Mavs because we want to talk about the play-in teams that are in the play-in and then playoffs. So so the playoffs start. The play-in. I'm sorry, the play-in starts tomorrow. We're recording this on Tuesday at what time is it? 7:23. Play-in starts tomorrow with the Miami Heat and Atlanta Hawks. The Heat went 44-38, and the Hawks went 41-41. The most average basic team in NBA, which is crazy. We can make this one quick, man.
Did you see that Trae Young report?
No, what Trae Young report?
That the Hawks are willing to listen to offers for him this offseason.
I can see that. I'm kind of with Bill Simmons now, man. Like, why would Quinn Snyder in the middle of the season sign up for that team when there's probably going to be better jobs on the table? That is kind of strange unless they offered him a super bag and some say-so in personnel.
Because he knows he probably can they probably can land. But overall, quick on this series, Um, one thing that I'm really interested in seeing is the Miami lineups because I know, like going back and watching like little clips, I like going back and watching how they played them other time. I know they want to put Trey Young and they want to get Trey Young switched on to Jimmy
They want
G.
to hunt Trey Young.
Yeah, so they want to hunt Trey. And how Quinn Snyder, who I like as a coach, I wonder how he's going to combat that. How do you hide him when Trey Young, if you can't, well, if they take out, they start Gabe Vincent now, but if you move Tyler Hero to the point guard spot and you
Yeah.
move Jimmy Butler to the power forward, it's hard to switch that match. It's hard to switch that action and not to switch that action. So that's what I'm curious about, and it's how can you hide Trey Young for 48 minutes in the playoffs? That's what I'm tuning in tomorrow to see.
Question before I'd say my thoughts on this series. Did you think Kyle Lowry's gonna fall off the way he did, like he did?
No.
Like this was like a fall off. This was like what J. Cole was promising us for years, fall off.
No, it's bad. I mean, he's kind of like, as I've been watching Heat games down the stretch, he's kind of found a spark off the bench.
Yeah.
But that contract's bad and he's terrible. And it's like
they're gonna have to attach a pick if they want to get them off because they're like Brian Windhorst said on the Hoop Collective this morning that obviously Miami Heat are always big game hunting, so we got to see how that goes. But yeah, I'm with you. I do think Trey has some unfinished business with the series because literally this series happened last year and they literally just beat the living crap out of him. They kind of embarrassed Trey. They embarrassed the Hawks. Trey has a chance to reconcile and show that he's one of the best guards in the game. I think
first playoff game.
Yeah, I think John Collins is going to guard Jimmy Butler, which we'll see how that goes.
So are you picking the Hawks?
I don't think it's that far fetched that the Hawks can win. I think the Hawks can win. Like again, we do this thing about playing in playoffs and consider it's a playoffs. Like both of these teams have another chance to play. Like it's not like the other series where it's one and done. These, maybe the Heat won't come out with the same urgency, but the team led by Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, Eric Spoelstra are probably going to be prepared, especially since they kicked their ass last year. So yes, it's easy to say Miami, but I can see Atlanta winning this game very easily. I can.
Who are you picking?
Heat. I'm going Heat.
Minus 5.
Oh, you're you should have been said the betting odds. Why haven't you said the betting odds?
Well, you didn't swing it to me.
Man, it's me. Why do I need to swing it to you when it's me and you? I don't. You just take the ball.
For this one, I mean, for the odds of this one, I mean, this is not really important. I mean, I'll get to the series odds, but I mean, in this game, the Heat are -5.
Okay. All right. So let's get to the big match then. The one that we're probably going to spend the most time on. Second playing tomorrow. 7:00 West Coast time, 7:30 if I remember. If it's probably most likely. We did a whole already. Let me see. We did a whole 17 minutes, and we didn't talk about no Rudy Gobert punch. We didn't make no jokes about him having like the longest wingspan in NBA history and hitting a dude in the chest when he was aiming for his head. Rudy Gobert and the Memphis Grizzlies are going against Los Angeles Lakers. Lakers are at home. If you were sleeping under a rock, obviously yesterday, game 82, it was crazy. The Memphis Grizzlies self-imploded into a win, though. They self-imploded into a win. Like everybody was talking about, like they didn't win.
The
Timberwolves. I'm sorry. The Timberwolves self-imploded into a win against the Pelicans in a do-or-die game. That was the one game on the slate that both teams were both playing for something. It had a playoff feel to it. And even though Rudy Gobert punched slow-mo in the chest with pillow punches, Jaden McDaniels punched a wall after being frustrated after fouling BI 2 times and went to the locker room and punched a wall. Well, I saw this stat too. This is not really a stat, but I thought this was pretty crazy. So Jaden McDaniels broke his hand, right? He joins a elite list of players that are broken their hand before the playoffs. You want to hear this elite list? I know one. I know you know one of them because I'm still upset about it. I still get mad about it. Huh?
Amari Stoudemire.
Amari Stoudemire, one.
That's the only one I can think of lately.
LeBron James broke his hand in the J.R. Smith game after the J.R. Smith
Oh
game.
yeah. Oh no, he didn't break
Flash
his
the
hand.
blackboard.
No, he never broke his hand.
He broke his hand after the J.R.
No,
Smith
no, no,
game.
he never broke his hand. That was fake.
I know that was before you was a LeBron fan, so it's crazy that you got this where LeBron is everything good, but when he had the Cleveland jersey on, you don't believe
He
him. That's
played
cool.
the rest of the game, the whole damn game, and the rest of
And
the
he
series.
missed every shot awfully. Anyway, Ennis Cantor broke his hand too. I remember that.
Freedom
And Larry Bird, I forget what season, but
and
yeah,
his freedom.
and I'm sorry, Ennis Freedom Cantor. Um, yeah, broke his hand, man, and he was probably gonna be the guy that was checking Braun in this series. Rudy Gobert has been suspended for one game.
Good
Um,
justice.
so yeah, so which way are you leaning? What matchups are you looking for? What's the standout thing that you'll be pinpointing when you're watching this game?
I mean, less is better from speaking from the perspective of the Lakers. No Nas Reed either. The Timberwolves are going to be shorthanded. It's a bad game for the Timberwolves, but I mean, but wounded dogs play well. So and teams can overplay. So that being said, I'm laying the Lakers -5 tomorrow. That line should be moving up. So I just think that I'm looking at the Vandalorian versus Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is big time. He is big time. He is one of now become one of my favorite players in this league. What he did in the last 4 minutes of that Minnesota Timberwolves game, the blocking, the rebounding, he turned it over and got the ball back on some crazy shit. Anthony Edwards is big
That block
time.
on CJ was nuts.
Nice.
It was nuts.
I screamed. Don't try to flush that.
I screamed. Huh?
CJ shouldn't try to flush that. He don't got bunnies.
But CJ had a he had a bad last couple minutes there. He missed both of those free throws, which I've never seen him do. And yeah, go ahead.
But I'm looking at the Vandalorian versus Anthony Edwards. Like I said, I think AE is special. I don't know if he's going off, there's nothing you can do. You can't. So and he's one of those guys that he can wreck your game for a game and go for 40. So that is the only hope that they had tomorrow. Because I don't know. I don't think Towns is there yet. He hasn't played 10 games. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he played pretty well yesterday.
He played well yesterday, but I mean, you know how Towns is. He can also get 4 fouls in the first, 15 minutes of the game. So I'm not less is better. So they're not going to have much depth. Like I said, if the Lakers just have to bring it and understand they can put the team away early and they can win this game and be on to Memphis for the first round of the playoffs. So I think the Lakers should and will win. Lakers -5.
Well said. I'm with you. I think the Lakers should win, but I think a lot of people are just penciling them to win. I don't think this is going to be a blowout. The way the media was turning this game and spinning it like they're the Timberwolves are in disarray. Sure, yeah. It could come off and look that way, but the guys still won that Pelicans game. They still Anthony, like you said, Anthony Edwards balled out. Slow-mo still played pretty well down the stretch. Mike Conley still did Mike Conley things, getting to lane, getting fouled, making free throws. But for me, so this matchup, and I was telling you guys this, I was like, I don't necessarily think Rudy being out is the best thing, because these two teams literally played like a week and a half ago, and if you remember, AD killed Rudy, right? I think AD had like 38 points. It was one of his 38-point games. I think with Rudy being gone, I know Rudy's, arguably he's a top 10 defense by himself. But now Anthony Davis most likely is going to guard Cat, and he's going to pull him away from the perimeter. And the Lakers, when Anthony Davis is on the perimeter guarding a shooter of Cat, where you can't leave him, I feel like it can.
Last time we didn't even go. AD didn't guard Cat.
I know it might be Braun.
He'll probably guard. No. Usually it's Vandalorian.
Yeah. I'm hoping Ham plays around with matchups. But
truthfully,
I know
the real issue is that Karl Anthony Towns has no fucking help on the perimeter on defense now. His ass about to get smoked out on every screen and roll. Yeah. He's gonna be away from the basket, and it's about to be
like you said,
city.
And like you said, he now that Rudy's gone, like they have no bigs. That I'm looking at their roster right now. The last person that they have that's anything what has size is a guy named Nathan Knight. And
And
I'm
he's
not
not playing. They're playing. They're playing. Anderson is the backup center, and he just got punched.
Anderson. Oh, Kyle.
Yeah, Kyle Anderson is the
Slow
playing
mo,
backup
slow mo.
center.
Oh yeah. We're not. Yeah, then AD's gonna eat him for lunch. But they're probably gonna play small and just swarm AD, Torian Prince. They're probably gonna do the swarm thing. We'll see how that goes. But this is. I mean, I think they're all, but this is an AD game. Hopefully, LeBron brings his jumper like he brought in game 82. If he brings that jumper, then Lakers will be okay. I expect Austin Reeves to have a good driving and kick game because now with Jaden McDaniels not out there, I think that means Torian Prince is going to guard LeBron, and then that means somebody like Mike Conley is going to have to guard D'Lo, which D'Lo is going to be running across the screen, standing in the corner. So I think the Lakers will win this game. I think this is going to
I
be.
will say, I think the Timberwolves are kind of lining themselves up because I think they know they can beat the Pelicans.
That's true. That's true. And then
And I believe
then they get
I
Denver.
believe I believe they're kind of using this as okay, let's get right, get everything back in order because shit's out of order right now. You lose two players in one game, one to injury for significant time, and the other to suspension.
Yep.
That's significant. That's a huge blow to your defense. I don't give a fuck who you are.
All right.
And one of the caliber of McDaniels and Gobert status as well.
Right. All right. So let's get these last two playing games, and then we can get to the rest of the games later in the week. All right. So real quick, Toronto and Chicago. What do you think of this series? Who do you got?
Chicago points. I like Chicago to win.
Now look how you just turned on your betting hat.
I think Toronto is a shit show. Toronto's getting 5
They've been playing better lately, though. They've been playing better.
I think listen, you can buy it up to 6.5 and get you a hook on the end of it. You can get this up to 6.5 for Chicago. I like Chicago to win, but if you don't trust the money line on the sprinkle on the 6 points because that's a lot of points for an NBA playoff game.
Yeah, I'm with you too. I think Chicago's been playing well. Obviously, like us as Laker fans, we watched Chicago twice recently in the last 2 weeks.
Frisky.
Huh?
Really frisky.
Really frisky, really good. Pat Bev is Pat Bev. I'm sure he wants to keep his. Every year I've been in the playoffs. Every year I've been in NBA, I've been in the playoffs career streak going. Zach LaVine has been hooping lately. DeMar DeRozan is the mid range god. I will say this: Toronto is one of those teams that I feel like they're better suited for the playoffs. Fred VanVleet, Pascal Siakam, who has playoff experience, he's played against, and they lost against the Sixers multiple seasons, if I remember correctly. This is a veteran team. Nick Nurse is one of the best coaches in the league, but he does seem like he has one foot out the door already, which is kind of crazy. That part. So I think Chicago has that one, and then we can get to New Orleans and OKC. What do you think? What do you see in this one? Go ahead.
This game is really going to be all about. I mean, the fact that OKC is even here is insane to me. But I think this game is going to be all about who's going to be able to stop who the better player. It's always going to be about who. But I mean, Shai.
I was just about to say, it's so who would you rather have, Shai or Bi in this one game elimination game? Who would you rather have?
That's what I'm saying. I'd rather have Bi. You know me, I'm a Bi fan.
We're different. I'd rather have Shai.
I
see where you're on the standpoint because you've seen Bi do it on the stage. You've seen him do it against the Phoenix Suns last year when they put a scare into the Suns last year. So I get where you're coming from.
But don't get me wrong. These stages are built for players like Shai Alexander. Like I remember, we watched Derrick Rose coming out party. We watched that basketball game together, and I remember that. And I was like, we didn't know what he could do until he got there, and he did what he did. So, So Shai Alexander, he could be one of them dudes that just we don't know what he could do, and then he get there and he put 40 or 50 on your head, and then now you're sitting there looking stupid out of the playoffs. So I'm picking the Pelicans, but it would not surprise me if Shai had one of them games. And just the fucking Thunder, they just ran on your parade. I promise you, they just always Isaiah Joe, a bunch of dudes out there you never heard of shooting threes. It's crazy.
I hate Isaiah Joe. I hate him because when he played against the Lakers, he torched them and he just made like 5 threes, and I was mad.
Second round wonder. I forgot he was a Sixer.
So yeah, you hit on all the points. Like I said, I'm picking. I think this is going to be a Shea come out party. He's literally been on a tear this entire season. I think a lot of the national media. I mean, he's been talked about enough. He's going to make first team All NBA, and a lot of people are going to be surprised. Like, again. I heard a lot of pods today where people were just like, he's on my first team All NBA. I feel like he's going to get a lot of first team All NBA votes. I do think that it's can we get some Zion news? Like can we get any kind of Zion news? All we hearing is he's ramping up. He's ramping up. This will be really cool. A nice little surprise if we can get some Zion in this plan. But I don't. I think I got OKC. I know you got the Pelicans. I got OKC. I think OKC can win.
Put it in the
I
parlay.
don't think that's.
You might make put it in the parlay and put $20 on it.
I think they can do it, man. Well, yeah, bro, this was good. We did a nice little 25 minute pod. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. This was, we're going to try to do a couple, like I said, at least bare minimum 2 pods a week. We'll have this one in the beginning of the week, and then we'll have our normally scheduled one for Thursday/Friday episodes. But thank you guys for listening. Don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. And for Kev, that's me, Rell, we're out. Those millennials.